In a world of lies and deception, from financial systems to governments and politics and media, we ask the fundamental question: what is the value of objective truth? Welcome to the Bitcoin Daily Show. I'm Dante Cook, head of Swan Business. 1 year ago today, something happened that was so shocking, it was hard to believe. Victor Wembanyama shook a point guard with handles like Allen Iverson, did a step back, shot a three like Kevin Durant, and then like Vince Carter, came down the middle of the lane and put back his own dunk. Since then, hundreds and thousands of people have verified that Victor Wembanyama is in fact a human and not an alien. But if the only thing to verify was that clip, I wouldn't believe you. In a digital age, in the internet age, how can you actually verify that something is true? If there's only one single source of truth, and you have institutions that are just maybe making up numbers and saying, trust me, how do you know that the numbers that they're actually providing you are really true? How do you know that they're not going back and manipulating the numbers or revising history? With centralized systems, corrupt media outlets, and the invention of AI and super chips from companies like NVIDIA, it's becoming harder and harder to tell what is actually true and what isn't. And this is the reason why the majority of the world is growing in distrust and believe that their country is heading in the wrong direction. According to this chart here, in a recent survey, 62% of the world believes that their country is going in the wrong direction. There's a fundamental lack of trust in governments and institutions everywhere. And you know it's bad when the Canadian government admits that there's a mistrust problem that they've created. Is it because of situations like the Philadelphia Fed admitting that the U.S. government's Bureau of Labor Statistics overinflated the number of jobs by 800,000? And the actual employment numbers that were touted at 1.1 million jobs were actually just 10,000 jobs. I mean, how do you accidentally overinflate the numbers by that much? Or is it because of companies like Facebook, who have been selling your data in Facebook Messenger to companies like Netflix? Or is it the fact that companies like Google have been selling your incognito browser data to the highest bidder since 2016 and neglecting to tell you what data they're collecting and who they're selling it to? Let's go back 30 years ago. The internet itself was a fringe phenomenon. Today, we recognize it as ubiquitous as the air that we breathe. It was an undiscriminating network that combined layers of open source protocols and public key cryptography and provided access to this technology with no single person in charge of it. This created a global communications network that everyone in the world could use. Everyone could trust it because no one controlled it and everyone could use it. The reason that the internet itself is revolutionary is because there's no central party at the center of it. Whatever ideals that you may have been told or led to believe about big companies like Facebook or Google or Netflix or Apple or even governments themselves, the reason that they all eventually become corrupted is that the temptation and the opportunity for power, greed, control, and money are just too great for us to be able to withstand. And as a result, censorship, surveillance, and deception creep into almost every single system that humans create. And it's not because the systems are bad. It's because we are, the humans. We're all human, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. In order to improve these systems, which continue to fail time and time again, we don't need better people at the helm. We need better systems entirely, rules without rulers, which is why Bitcoin is so revolutionary and it's one of the most important technologies of our time. Satoshi's novel invention wasn't just that he created better money that we all have access to in a decentralized fashion. It was because he created a system that recorded and verified truth in the midst of untrustworthy institutions. Here's a few things that Satoshi Nakamoto created and also believed that he shared in his Bitcoin white paper. What is needed is an electronic payment system based on cryptographic proof instead of trust, allowing any two willing parties to transact directly with each other without the need for a trusted third party. And in this paper, we propose a solution to the double spending problem, using a peer-to-peer distributed timestamp server to generate computational proof of the chronological order of transactions. In layman's terms, he needed a way that we could interact in a decentralized and ubiquitous way without any third party or institution being in between. And not only did we need a way to interact without a third party being in between, we needed a way to keep the truth in line so that everyone could be on the same page about what was happening. The double spin problem solves the problem that the winners or the people with the most power can rewrite history and change the truth about what actually happened. In a world where foreign governments can influence an election, Bitcoin's timestamp server represents hope that we have the ability to prove the veracity of a vote. In a world of deep fakes and AI, Bitcoin's timestamp server technology provides hope that we can have a mechanism to prove the true identity of people. In a world of fake news and media outlets saying things that aren't factually true, like, for example, the US government sending 30,000 Silk Road coins to Coinbase. Well, that's not actually the whole truth. As we always say, don't trust, verify. By looking into Bitcoin's timestamp server technology, or the blockchain or its mempool, you can see that Coinbase sent a small transaction via a change address of 0.001 Bitcoin or $69 worth to an address. Then they sent another transaction of 1,999 Bitcoin to another address via a change address. You see, the government later came out and said that they plan to sell $130 million worth of Silk Road Bitcoin in an auction later that day. But you didn't need the government to tell you that. Bitcoin's timestamp server technology verified it before they told you what the truth was. Don't trust, verify. And another use case that we like to talk about on this show, decentralized permissionless money. A person sent $375 million worth of Bitcoin for a fee of just $2.39. Bitcoin absolutely represents freedom money, but it also represents truth in a world of distrust, in a world of lies and AI and deepfakes. You can't go to war with a math equation. You can't fight public key cryptography or digital hashing, proof of work, timestamp servers, or peer-to-peer networks. All of these things combined together over the course of 40 years created the immaculate conception that came together in 2008 in the Bitcoin white paper and launched to the world on January 3rd, 2009. This improbable network that was only shared in the back rooms of internet forums had less of a chance of success than an 88% free throw shooter from Virginia missing 2 free throws, NC State perfectly getting the rebound, dribbling all the way down the court with less than 4 seconds, banking in a 3 to send it to overtime, to defeat Virginia, to go on to defeat Duke and North Carolina in the ACC tournament, to win 9 straight games and find themselves in the Final Four versus Purdue this upcoming Saturday. In a world of deepfakes, fudged numbers from seemingly credible sources, media outlets sharing information that isn't factual, and governments printing money faster than anyone can humanly spend it, we need something to help us distinguish the truth. Something that is actually rooted in objective reality that we can touch, taste, smell, and see with proof of work. If you're feeling like I feel, in a world full of lies, deception, and a lack of truth, then you should be interested in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a beacon of truth in the midst of these things. If you value truth, then you should value Bitcoin. And it also doesn't hurt that it's been the best performing asset over the past 15 years. Something to consider. And with that, we're signing off for today. I'm Dante Cook with Swan.com. Don't trust, verify.